Welcome back to the channel. In today's news update, we're diving into some critical stories shaping the global landscape. From TikTok's legal battle in the US to Ukraine's latest drone developments and a massive merger in the food industry, we've got you covered. Stay tuned for a deep dive into these headlines and more. Our first story takes us to the ongoing legal battle between TikTok and the US government. In recent court filings, TikTok is urging a federal appeals court to overturn a law requiring its China-based parent company, ByteDance, to sell its U.S. assets or face a ban. Let's break it down. TikTok's lawyers argue that the platform deserves First Amendment protections, despite its foreign ownership. They drew comparisons to American media companies with foreign ownership, like Politico and Business Insider, that enjoy these rights. TikTok's legal team went further, calling the U.S. government's stance an unprecedented restriction on free speech. They emphasized that no legal precedent supports the government's current approach, saying, surely American companies don't lose First Amendment protection because of foreign ownership. On the other side, the U.S. government, represented by lawyers from the Department of Justice, argues that TikTok and ByteDance don't qualify for these protections due to their foreign ownership. They also maintain that their actions are driven by national security concerns, not an attempt to restrict free speech. Digging deeper, TikTok's ownership by ByteDance has raised alarms about national security, with U.S. officials worried that Chinese laws could compel TikTok to share user data with the Chinese government. TikTok has countered, saying it stores U.S. user data on American and Singaporean servers, with strict protocols to prevent Chinese access. This legal battle could have massive implications, not just for TikTok, but for other foreign-owned companies operating in the U.S. We'll keep you updated as the story develops. Next, let's shift our focus to Ukraine, where Wild Hornets, a Ukrainian drone manufacturer, has just unveiled a new piece of military tech, the Queen Hornet FPV drone. What makes this drone unique? It's equipped with an AK-74 rifle. What we know so far, the Queen Hornet is a heavy-lift FPV drone designed for versatile operations. It can act as a mothership for smaller FPV drones, drop multiple munitions, or carry out direct strikes with larger explosive payloads. Why it matters? We've seen various drones armed with firearms in testing stages around the world, but so far, none have been deployed on the battlefield. The Queen Hornet could potentially change that, marking a new chapter in drone warfare. The implications of such technology are profound, raising questions about the future of combat and the ethical considerations of using armed drones in conflict zones. We'll be watching closely to see if and how the Queen Hornet is deployed in Ukraine's ongoing conflict with Russia. In business news, a massive deal has just been announced in the packaged food industry. Mars, the company behind iconic brands like M&M's and Snickers, has agreed to acquire Kellanova, the maker of Pringles and Pop-Tarts, for a whopping $36 billion. Why this matters? This acquisition, which comes with a 33% premium on Kellanova's stock price, is the largest in the packaged food industry this year. Mars CEO Paul Weyrauch has stated that the company aims to absorb additional costs without passing them on to consumers, particularly in an inflationary environment. The bigger picture, this deal is part of a broader trend of consolidation in the U.S. packaged food sector, as companies look to scale up to combat inflation and adapt to changing consumer preferences. Kellanova's CEO noted that increased competition from private label brands, especially in Europe, has been challenging. The acquisition by Mars offers new opportunities for growth, particularly in emerging markets like Africa and China. With the deal expected to close in 2025, this acquisition could reshape the food industry landscape, creating a powerhouse that will dominate grocery store shelves worldwide. Switching gears to healthcare, the Biden administration has announced a major reduction in prices for 10 of Medicare's top-selling prescription drugs. This move is expected to save $6 billion in the first year alone. What you need to know. These price cuts, which are part of the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, will take effect in 2026, with some drugs seeing reductions of up to 79%. President Biden, in a recent event, proudly declared, "We finally beat Big Pharma." The politics behind it. The law enabling these negotiations was passed with a tie-breaking vote from Vice President Harris. While the move has been lauded by many, it's also met with criticism from Republicans, who argue that it constitutes price fixing. Impact. The reductions are expected to benefit Medicare recipients significantly, especially as we head into an election year. However, pharmaceutical companies have raised concerns that the cuts might not lead to significant savings for patients and could potentially hinder future drug innovation. We'll see how this plays out in the coming years, but for now, it's a major win for the Biden administration as they continue to push for healthcare reforms. Finally, we turn to a legal battle unfolding in Florida. Disney World is asking a court to dismiss a wrongful death lawsuit filed by Jeffrey Piccolo, following the death of his wife, Dr. Kanakporn Tangswan, after dining at Raglan Road in Disney Springs. Here's what's happening. Disney is arguing that the case should be resolved out of court, citing arbitration terms that Mr. Piccolo agreed to when signing up for Disney Plus in 2019. The lawsuit claims that Raglan Road failed to adequately address Dr. Tang Swan's severe allergies, despite being repeatedly informed, leading to her fatal anaphylactic reaction. The legal argument: Disney's lawyers are pushing for arbitration, arguing that the terms Mr. Piccolo agreed to for his Disney Plus account should apply. However, Mr. Piccolo's lawyers have called this argument preposterous, noting that Dr. Tang Swan never agreed to these terms herself. What's at stake? This case raises important questions about the reach of arbitration agreements and whether they can be applied in situations like this. The outcome could have significant implications for how similar cases are handled in the future. We'll be keeping a close eye on how this case unfolds, as it could set a precedent for other legal disputes involving large corporations. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.